Bro, if you get a chance to stay out of these rookie goons' way, completely stay out of their way. Because we got a crazy situation we about to sit down and drop commentary over. This is absolutely insane. I'm going to let y'all hear the intro and then we'll come back and, you know what I'm saying, tie it all together. Let go.
As a man, a lot of us have made the mistake of thinking with our head and not the one above our shoulders. Seeing something we like on Instagram, sliding into our DMs, falling into a...
And I just want to be real. Rap news, street politics, the realest like gang channel where you want to get information about LA gangs and all of that. The top tier best channel on YouTube with that information. Facts. Like, comment, and subscribe his content. I'm telling you, you will not be upset, bro. So what we have here is a young man that get tricked by his ops, thinking that it's a bitch. They got him to come to the turf and hit him with 17 shots. Yeah, but then they got caught because the dummies was going online doing what these rookie goons do in the modern era. That's why I call them rookie goons. They are goons, but they're rookies. Let's go.
good conversation and planning to link up on a late night trying to get cracking. But what if the person we talking to ends up being them dudes from 11A East Coast Block Crib, telling you to pull up on a block they know you feel comfortable on shortly after midnight? This is where Anthony Smithers, aka Infant Loco from Hoover, found himself in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2025. At 15 years old, Infant Loco having an exchange, allegedly, with a young lady, planned to meet up with her in his hood, and ended up being shot 17 times in the middle of a war that had a lot of people looking at the wrong suspects. Rap News, Street Politics, the best hood channel on YouTube. Viewer discretion is advised. Everything we about to go through in this video are allegations set forth by the police in the discovery and investigative reports. All the suspects in this case are innocent until proven guilty. Now, Infant Loco, a 15-year-old kid, hit the internet with a hood vlog. A lot of people started to take notice of him because he had a deformity on his hand, somewhat of an underdeveloped extremity, rendering him disabled. This caught a lot of people's eyes. He's out there with the Hoovers in his set, and a lot of people took notice. But as we dig deeper into the paperwork, we're gonna show y'all exactly who plotted on him and stated that they got on to him after that hood vlog. But we gotta start everything on October 5th, 2025 on 97th in Vermont. Police respond to a call at 12:46 a.m. in front of an apartment building, and the caller stated hearing over 30 shots minutes before the call. When police arrive at the scene, they find 15-year-old Anthony Smithers lying in the driveway, suffering from 17 gunshot wounds to different parts of his body, including his head and abdominal area. Now, a party had just started wrapping up on this street, and when initial reports started circulating at the time of the death, people were associating his murder with that party, and they were also associated with the Main Street Mafia Crips. At this time, there were allegations of back and forth murders between the Hoovers and the Main Streets, some high profile cases, and the city was seemingly settling on this situation being a continuation of that war. Now, at the scene left behind, there were 24 9mm shell casings and 8 5.7 shell casings, and the shooting also resulted in the apartment building Infant Loco was in front of being hit multiple times while people were just on the other side of the wall sleeping. And this is where detectives make their first move. They start canvassing 97, looking for the surveillance cameras. They end up coming up on one almost immediately, and it depicted all the events that took place right here in the 9 Deuce Hoovers. They pop the tape on, and immediately a white sedan is seen driving westbound on 97 at 12:37 in the morning. On camera, they also see Infant Loco standing in front of the apartment building while this white sedan hits the block. As it approaches Infant Loco, the front and rear passenger of this vehicle start firing multiple rounds, hitting Infant Loco until he falls to the ground. When he falls to the ground, they proceed to fully jump out the car and proceed to fire more rounds at him before getting back into the car and continuing westbound.
Yo, that's the craziest thing, to pull up to a chick crib thinking you about to get some wet Instead, you see the ops hop out the car and you get wet. Ooh, shit.
Towards Vermont Avenue. Now, with this video footage, they were able to put together that this car has some distinct features. Not only was it a white Honda Accord, but it had distinct rims and what they alleged to be distinct chrome door handles. So they went on ahead and met with Loco's people. His people said that they really had no reason as to why he was on 97th at this time. He had been out the house for a couple days, somewhat in an estranged situation, and was staying in the 50s on 59th to be exact. And they didn't know how he made it over to 97th at this time. They also confirmed that he was a member from Hoover. And before detectives left the meeting with his people, they came with a possible motive on why he was on 97. They believed that his cousin had dropped him off to meet a girl. And a few hours after this interaction, his people doubled back on detectives and said that they gained access to his Instagram account. And just minutes prior to the murder, they saw his Instagram account, the Vermont Ave Prince 83rd, in communication with a female by the name of Pretty Ass B with 2 C's and a K on it. As they were looking through this text thread, they seen that Loco had fell into a conversation with this young lady the night prior, October 4th, 2025. When he started off the conversation saying, "What's the deal?" This female account had got back up with him with an adult style video of her performing specific acts on herself with the caption, "Fuck the phone, pull up." They begin to plan on meeting when he mentions that he about to see if his op cousin is gonna drop him off, somewhat insinuating that he got a cousin from an enemy hood that he trying to get to drop him off to meet up with this young lady. Of course, she hearted the message, asked him when he could come. He said his cousin Groovy and he on his way. She sent the address on 97 and says, "Let me know how far." Now 97 is again in the 9 Deuce Hoovers, just 1 block south of Colden, one of their main spots over here. This is the area that Loco would be comfortable in, being that he is also from Hoover. Pretty Ass B says when he gets to the front, she gonna come outside and get him. She said her parents finna go to sleep and asked him if he for show because she don't want everybody knowing where she stay at. He said he for show, and at 12:34, he sends her a message saying, "I'm here." She write back 12:35 said, "I'm coming." And approximately 2 minutes later, Loco was killed in a hail of bullets going to a meetup of a female that he met on Instagram. Now detectives are back continuing to assess the scene over here on 97, and the last lead that they have was the white Honda speeding west towards Vermont. They decided to follow it with license plate reader cameras to somewhat intercept the way of travel to figure out where this whip went. As soon as it spent off for the murder, they caught it on 92nd and Vermont. Then they caught it again on Fig and 91st. They
Cream
tracked
in
it
my
on
tea.
Main, got it on Avalon, and when it got to Century and Avalon, they seemingly lost the hit on it by 12:48. Now, you know, seeing that text message thread, you know they came with the search warrant for Instagram. And when that search warrant came back, it came back with the device that was used that was linked to the Pretty Ass B Instagram account. They were able to see that 10 minutes after the murder, the Instagram account was deactivated off of Instagram, and the device that the Instagram account was signed in on had also stopped reporting on 91st and Hoover just minutes after the homicide. But something else that they also found on the device was 2 other Instagram accounts that had been signed in on it. Now, mind you, they didn't have the physical device. These were all records kept in the data of this device. Along with the Pretty Ass B account, another Instagram account with the name Boston BK 118 on it and the name Juice Man number 2.
And this is why I call them rookie goons, bro. Real shit. Because they don't know any better. They all about the street. They'll bust drills, 211s, 187s, but they do not know about the technology that they was born into. They don't know about connecting accounts and joining accounts that if you open up with this phone, but you had to connect an account that you even made a call from. Like, they don't know about all that. That's why they was able to just link back to different names to be able to find who one of the suspects was. And when they seen it was Dirty Black, they like, oh, well, let's go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, see where his whereabouts was, and there you got game over for you. I just don't understand, bro, but I do. This is why they're rookie goons. Real talk. If you ever hear anybody say rookie goons, it came from over here, man. A bunch of rookie goons. Goofy as hell, boy. They caught now.
Had also been accessed on the cellular device that had went cold on 91st and Hoover. So while they went ahead and submitted a search warrant for the new Instagram account they just found, they started doing back work on a phone number that was linked to the device. They found that it was opened up in the Cricket store off Imperial and Avalon back on September 24th, 2025, 2 weeks before the murder of Infant Loco. And when they looked into the individual that opened that account, they found the name Dylan Guillory with an address on East 115th Street in the 1180 East Coast. Now, the name was a throw-off name. It didn't come back to anything. And when all of the geolocation data from that phone came in, they saw that it was at all places relevant to the homicide of Infant Loco at the time of the homicide. On 97, again, it was turned off on 91st, but it was also in the location of the images where police captured that white sedan on Vermont. Now with this, they put their focus back on a search warrant with that Boston BK 118 account. That account produced 3 Gmails, one being mjuice@gmail, the other one being babyjabba@gmail. And they went ahead and served a search warrant on the Gmails. Now when the babyjabba@gmail.com info came back, the billing information that was used on that account September 9th, 2025 was used in the name of Dylan Blackwell. Dylan Blackwell is Lil Juice Man from 118 East Coast Block Crit. 18 years old, a young homie over here on the east side. Now detectives noticed 2 things off the bat with this. Number 1, this is Dylan Blackwell who came back to a real person. They realized that the first name used on the AT&T account was also Dylan, even though it had a throw-off last name. And Dylan Blackwell's address was directly south of the throw-off address used to set up the AT&T device in Cricket. And this is when shit started getting hot. So now that they focus it on Lil Juice Man, they start to dig deeper into his Google accounts. They find his pictures in the mjuice Gmail account, and they stumble across a crazy ass picture existing in his Google data. It's a screenshot message of the exchange between Pretty Ass B and Infant Loco. The screenshot was of Infant Loco telling Pretty Ass B that he's in the 50s and stating that he's coming. Detectives also find another picture of Lil Juice Man dated September 9th, 2025, with him showing himself having a stick on 97th in Vermont, the same spot where Infant Loco would die less than a month later. But if that wasn't enough, they stumbled across a communication between Juice Man's Instagram account, Boston BK 118, and another Instagram account of somebody from 59 Hoover. And Lil Juice Man is seen telling this dude from 59 to go pick his homie up, and he gonna tell him something that's gonna make him mad. He told the dude from 59 that he gonna show him something, and ends up sending this dude a picture of the Instagram DMs between Infant Loco and Pretty Ass B, and replied, "Dudes better stop thinking with they package." And detectives now have him bragging about the homicide of Infant Loco. But he wasn't done. He hits up another Instagram account and he sends it a Citizens app link depicting the video of the homicide of Infant Loco, and tells that Instagram account to send it to West Coast Gang Wars 3, which is the Instagram account that reported the homicide of Infant Loco on 97th in Vermont. He told him to caption it, "The one-hand shotter from A. Trey Hoover," and told him who it was. Lil Juice Man directed the account to also send this information to the Foactive dude. And he was talking about Deontay Edmond, Lil Tiny Foactive from 9-4 Hoover. Deontay Edmond is an alleged participant in the war between the Hoovers and the Main Streets, and is down for carjacking that was linked to a homicide. So while detectives are sitting with their jaw dropped, seeing all the shit that they came up with, October 21st, 2025, they find the white sedan off 81st and May, N76 East Coast Hood. Located in the white sedan, one live 9mm round and a piece of white clothing. The white sedan was reported stolen from 117th and Main in the 11/8s and recovered by CHP in the 7/6s. And on December 5th, 2025, they take Lil Juice Man down at 10:30 in the morning off Imperial. By 2:06 p.m., they sit him in that room, and Lil Juice Man waives his rights and notifies the detectives, stating that he wants to make a statement. In Lil Juice Man's account, he admits to being the driver of the suspect vehicle during the murder of Infant Loco. He says he was the person that carjacked the vehicle from 117th and Main. His description of the carjacking was he seen a Hispanic man late night on the 117th, took him into an alley and pump faked on him. He didn't have a pistol. He acted like he had one and stripped the dude of his car keys, his cell phone, and sped off in the white Honda. He stated that on the day of the murder, he was with the two other suspects that jumped out the car, and they spent off Lancet and Imperial to drive to the Hoovers. He said they was continuously spinning the Hoovers, but kept coming up empty, not finding nobody outside. And he went on to compare his body type to the shooters, suggesting to the detectives that he was much bigger than him and to prove that he was actually the one driving, not the one getting cracked. He then admitted to purchasing a cell phone from Cricket off Imperial and Avalon and used the $100 bills cash and the fake name. He stated right after he got the cell phone, he created the fake Instagram account Pretty Ass B. He then found a location using Google Maps, which ended up being 97th in Vermont, before he started tapping in with Infant Loco. That explicit video of the woman on the Instagram message, Lil Juice Man said he stripped it off social media. It was a random video and just sent it to Infant Loco. He stated that he drove to the location that he told Infant Loco to meet at, and when they got there, he proceeded to describe everything that went on with the two dudes that jumped out with the guns. He stated that he knew Infant Loco was from Hoover, and he stated that he knew him because he was watching prior vlogs, which were posted to YouTube. Juice Man stated after the murder, they drove back to Lancet, parked the vehicle, and he went to his homie's house on 117th. He then later confirmed that he dumped the vehicle on 81st and Compton Avenue, and he tried to blame the situation on, quote, a random old dude. Said the random old dude told him and his homies to go to the Hoovers, and that's where they went. And in his final act, he gave a consent to search form for his Samsung Galaxy and provided the passcode, wrapping himself up on the homicide of Anthony Smithers, aka Infant Loco, from H. Ray Hoover Criminals. Now, this is a situation that a lot of us can relate to. You never know who you talking to on these Instagram apps. Again, Infant Loco, 15 years old. Everybody knows the mistakes, especially the ones made with the opposite sex at that age. These are two young kids, both sold up. Only one thing is factual. Infant Loco is dead. Lil Juice Man, these are allegations. He still gotta have his day in court. But this is allegedly what happened when Infant Loco fell into a communication with what he thought was a young lady on Instagram and ended up meeting somebody from an enemy hood looking to score. This the best hood channel on YouTube, rap news, street politics. Y'all make sure y'all stay locked in for the next one.
Yeah, I gotta give him that, man. Definitely the best street news, you know what I'm saying? Gang and all that street news on YouTube, man. Yeah, he got the top tier one, you know what I'm saying? Unbelievable work, bro. 15 years old, got tricked out of his whole life for thinking it was a ski op. Unreal situation. Pulled a video off the internet, sent it to him. That was enough to get him to come over and thought he was about to get some. Oh my God. Instead, the Opps pull up and hit him with 17. Yeah, the Opps pull up and hit him with 17. Oh my goodness, bro. That's insane, man. Something is absolutely wrong with you young rookie goons out here in these streets, bro. That's all it took to get you to come over there. And instead, it wasn't no cock. It was the Opps. Unbelievable, man.